What's up guys, you're welcome to another edition of my YouTube videos. I know it's been quite a while since I made my last video and I know you guys probably missed me, but I'm back. So the content of today's video is going to be about scholarship requirements, the documents which you need to submit when applying for any particular scholarship. So I've been getting this question a lot, like Bright, what documents should I prepare? What documents will I need to apply for any scholarship? And that's why I'm making this video. Before I go into that, there are two things which I need to which I need to tell you guys about. Firstly, if you plan to apply for any scholarship, be sure to start getting your documents ready because this is November and a lot of scholarships will be open soon. There are some which are already open right now, and my next video is going to be on a very high yield scholarship which is open and applications are currently being accepted, right? So be sure to subscribe first so that you don't miss my next video, which will be on that high yield scholarship. And secondly, the documents which I will tell you here are not required by all scholarships. There are some which may take a particular set of documents and some other scholarships which may accept a particular set of documents. So this is just like a brief general overview of documents requirements. So let's get into it right now. So the documents which I'm going to tell you guys now are applicable for both the undergraduate, the master's, and the PhD level, right? So depending on your level of application, you have to act accordingly, right? So the first and foremost, the primary documents which you need for any application are your transcript. For those applying for undergraduate degree, you need your high school transcript. For those who are applying for masters, you need your degree, your undergraduate degree transcript, and those applying for PhD, you need your master's degree. So those of some of you watching right now are currently in the university and you have some transcripts, right? Some of you want to apply for undergraduate degree, you're currently in the universities and maybe you have some transcripts already. So I'll tell you guys that there are some scholarships which submitting this transcript will be an added advantage for you, but there are some whereby this university transcripts will not matter, right? So if you're applying for undergraduate degree and you're currently in university, prepare your transcript as well because submitting them for some scholarships will be an added advantage to you. But in most, the primary documents which you need to have when applying for undergraduate is your transcript, that is your high school transcript. So prepare them. That was number one. Number two is what we call the motivation letter. This is a very high yield document. In some scholarships, you see them written as statement of purpose, letter of intent, motivation letter. They are all the same thing. So what is a motivation letter? Motivation letter is just a letter which you will write to the scholarship committee, telling them why you need a scholarship, telling them why they should give you the scholarship and not somebody else. Remember, these scholarships are very competitive scholarships. There are thousands of people applying and there are limited spots. So your letter has to tell the people that they should give you this scholarship and not the other. You're not trying to compare yourself, okay? Just give them your reasons, tell them your desire for this scholarship, tell them your achievements in the recent years, everything which you can tell them which will motivate them. That's how it's called. Everything which will motivate the invigilators to give you this particular scholarship, right? I'm not going to go deep into all the individual requirements. So, but if you need me to explain more about it, leave it in the comment, leave whatever you want in this comment so that I'm going to look into it. And depending on the number of demands, I'll see into it if I'm going to make another video on it, right? That being said, let's go on to the next. The next is called a recommendation letter. That's number three, recommendation letter. So what is a recommendation letter? A recommendation letter is a letter which you will get from maybe your professor or your high school teacher. That is going to tell the scholarship invigilators that you need the scholarship. So do not be fooled. You should not forge this letter. This letter is a very high yield letter and it is very important for those applying for masters and PhD, and it's also needed for undergraduates in some scholarships as well. So you cannot forge this letter because this letter must contain what we call the university header or the high school header. And the person writing it or the professor must write with his or her institutional email. So do not go trying to forge it saying they won't know, because if you forge any document and you're caught, your application is discarded immediately. Be sure to know that. So like I said, this document is going to be written by a professor or anyone who has taught you, and the person writing it should be someone with a high educational achievement, maybe with a master's degree or a PhD degree. Don't go and see someone with an undergraduate degree and ask to write a recommendation letter. That being said, the fourth is called the English Proficiency exams. You've probably heard of IELTS and TOEFL and PTE. So these are just documents. These are exams which you write to prove to the people that you are good in English and you can study in an English medium. Okay, so I'm not going to go deep into it, as I said. Okay, so like I said, there are three, and there are different varieties. Okay, but the most important ones are the IELTS and the TOEFL. So if you get an IELTS, you can use it to apply for any scholarships, and you give a TOEFL, you can also use it to apply for any scholarship. All right. So that being said, let's go to the next requirement. The next requirement is medical examination or medical report. Okay, so these ones are needed by a lot of scholarships actually. This is just to tell them that you're fit physically and mentally as well. You're fit mentally to pursue or to pursue education in a particular country. Okay, so some may have some particular tests which you need to do. They will have a list of tests which you need to do, or some may just ask you to get a medical certificate from a hospital, a legit hospital, okay, not any common hospital, from a legit hospital. So with this medical examination, you have to submit to them to tell them that you are fit enough to pursue this educational degree in a foreign country. One very important document is the passport. Some people ask me if you need a passport to apply for scholarships. There are scholarships which will allow you to apply for the first stage without submitting a passport, but there are some which will need you to submit your passport right from the beginning. Okay, so be sure to get your passport ready, because if not, how are you going to travel? Prepare your passport so that if you're accepted for any scholarship, you won't have to waste time trying to get a passport again or whatsoever. This next requirement is especially for those applying for masters and PhD. Before you got maybe your master's degree, before you got your master's degree or your undergraduate degree, you probably did a defense or you wrote something about it. So in some scholarships, if you're applying for a master's degree, you'll be asked to submit your thesis or submit the link to anything which you did, or if you've been involved in any research, submitting that is going to be an added advantage for you. So the documents which I just mentioned are the main documents, but in a lot of scholarships, you'll be given a place where you can upload all other documents which you have, which are going to support your application, right? So these documents may include things like diplomas or diplomas which you've gotten from any other institute. You may also submit certificates of achievements of any other things, so this scholarships committee take into account these things because they don't want someone who is just going to come and study. You need to be versatile. You need to be able to do a lot of things. Okay, you need to be versatile. So if you're able to submit other documents, other certificates which you've acquired from doing other things, it's going to be very beneficial. That's why I always advise people that if you get any chance of improving the content of your CV, do not let that chance pass by. Okay, so if you've been involved in any competitions or quizzes or international programs, or any activities which give you like a diploma or a certificate or whatsoever, be sure to keep them, prepare them, because they are very important documents and they're going to support your application. Alright, so that will be the end of today's video, but I would like to tell you guys that I don't think I've mentioned all the documents. Okay, these are just the main ones, and in the subsequent videos when I'm going to be talking about the individual scholarships, I'll mention all the requirements which you need for that scholarships. So this was just like to give you a heads up to see which documents should you start preparing right now. Alright, so see you guys in my next videos. Subscribe, and so that you do not miss any of the next videos, any of the videos which I will be uploading next. Okay, so see you guys.